and now we will focus on the concept of a smart city. The smart city concept is not just about technologies, but about the raising of living standards of people living in cities. And here we would like to discuss how digital services are impacting the quality and those happiness level of people living in cities. We as managers maybe could use different data to support this and improve these levels. Thank you so much. Thank you, colleagues. I am too grateful for you to have an opportunity to speak at this session. Maybe you could use the roving mic. Now, colleagues, in a nutshell, I would like to be as quick as possible, just to tell you my ideas in a few words. You have mentioned that we have already mentioned many technical details, but we as managers should have our own inputs. If we don't have the skills, if we don't understand the targets and the objectives needed to provide a good life for our people, if we don't know that, if we're not updated on that, we won't be successful. There is a big issue with regulation, with some challenges and specific issues. Again, working with different programs, policies, region-specific, nation-specific, and others. But this depends on different leaders. And I know Alexei for some time already. I see this difference, and I have not been involved in this process. And I am happy that there is progress. Now, let's speak about happiness. The feeling of happiness, it is really very complicated. Maybe I'd like to tell you about a very complex thing in just 10 minutes. We have those instant happiness and accumulated happiness. Accumulated happiness means that at some particular moment of time we can make a pause and understand, reflect on 1 or 2 happy days of your life. So this accumulated happiness integrates those integral indicators, and it's based on many research papers, and I will tell you more about it at the end. Now, with that, I've seen that this notion, this concept of happiness, this is related to location. We have mentioned the location. A city is a location in accordance with the Fosmore vocabulary. Again, this is a place which is comfortable for a living for all of us, and all managers should be aware of that. So I have started writing this long story. You can refer to that if you're interested. We are working on it through a team. Now, these images of happiness, it's really very important to feel and have the skill to feel happiness. We very often see that foreigners are always smiling, but we as Russians are not, and it's very obvious when you are in an airport or at a conference too. But at the same time, we are lucky to live in our country, in our yards and cities, in our regions. We have many interesting people, and we need to know about it. And this might mean this is already happiness. Last but not least, before moving to the technology, another aspect on happiness. So we need to change the paradigm of our work, of our understanding of the happiness. Now, and again, if there is a problem, if there is an issue, there is not for someone else to work on this hole in the road on the surface. Maybe you should work together with a neighbor to remove it. Maybe we could invest our own time in doing that, and you need to be aware of that. You need to understand that and be able to act on your own to overcome the issue. Again, cities are evolving around us. Who are we working for? I would speak about those attributes we have. Again, successful businesses are an important element to this structure, to this framework, and I'd like to draw an example of our case, which took place not in our country, but in Tashkent, in Uzbekistan. This is about how we can evaluate those indicators which Alexandra has already mentioned. So you need to be able to, evaluate those indicators and indexes. First of all, for example, we need to send our children on foot somewhere, but I spent half an hour to get my children to somewhere else because some time ago there was no road built several years ago by the planner. So even in existing cities, you can work on such issues. Maybe in St. Petersburg, it is more complicated. In Tashkent, there was nothing of that size at the moment, unlike in St. Pete. But everything depends on leaders. And there is such a model, I will tell you more about it, which has changed this governance in itself. And the president has supported that we need to repeat these things in other cities. Again, if you don't have a school at this location, if you put it there, and then you see this green highlighting there, which means that there are more happy people there. Again, there they don't have these plots for building schools there. We evaluated that they needed 17 more schools, and we decided to optimize. Again, optimization means a lot to all of us. Again, the lack of infrastructures, the lack of schools. And so we highlight that. They call it Mahala. And again, we have our own examples in St. Petersburg, the active citizen. Again, we have different interests for people living in the center and in the outskirts. And we created a unified index, which is a subjective and an objective one at the same time. So we build on the feedback of citizens, and then this index is made public online. And again, we see different feedback from different citizens. They work differently and they compete with each other. And again, the Agency for Strategic Initiatives has mentioned this quality of living standards and how we can impact that. So again, this can be our input. This is one of the 25 cases.
The governor came to us and we just signed the next stage of this initiative. Lots of people started just looking at the trees, doing the restoration and the repairs of the elevators. Let's make our city more comfortable. Let's make it more green, environmentally friendly. In Japan, there is a similar index. I'm going to give you a reference if you'd like to. And once again, it's all available and absolutely transparent. I just recently participated in a conference. The conference took place in the United Arab Emirates. This is Abu Dhabi, and you see what the dashboard looks like. So they compare communities and buildings from the point of view of Habib index, not just in terms of comfort or convenience, but just right away the Hub index. So the community, the house, community and house. There are lots of cameras around the city. Everything is so well digitalized. Everything is just connected. And so we see these elements, these components of happiness, I can say so. What did we do in Russia? Well, I've got lots of slides here showing the environment, the epidemiology, jointly with the Ministry of the Eastern Region Development. Well, we can see this very simple tool that maps all the problems of cities. I don't know why everyone likes using PDF files. This is St. Petersburg, and this is what we showed to one of the officials. This is what it looked like in St. Petersburg, and also we did a similar project in Tashkent. Well, in fact, the digital profile of St. Petersburg, this model is there, right? It is incorporated. And the last thing I just wanted to say, this is the quality of life ranking. We have a similar approach there. And here you can see how differently the approach to the quality of life is among municipalities and regional administration. 4 years ago, they used to tell us that all that is just some kind of a fiction, all that is just castles on air. But today we see what is the difference between the 3 years and what has been done over the 3 years. Every percent of this ranking coefficient is just a chase. Every constituent of the Russian Federation is chasing for every extra percentage. It's especially exciting to see how all that works. If in Sakhalin it takes quite a long way to go to the multi-service center, the community service. So we see that it all works really well. Okay, so we decided to make this kind of a geo-ranking Russia. So as every city has this kind of the closeness to the children playgrounds. And this is what we can see in terms of the difference across various communities, various districts. We sum up it all, and it's indeed important what we can do here, and this is what we mean. I'm done here. I believe that, well, this is my long read here. And we've got the Rusoft, 350 companies, very well-profiled companies. And there are also companies that are into video analytics. There are lots of them, lots of them. Therefore, I'm asking you to get united, to collaborate. Here you can see the positive things. Here you can see the service. I live here. This is a specific service provided to residents of St. Petersburg, and that's the designers, the developers of this initiative. Well, I'm wrapping up. This is it for my slides. Nevertheless, there are a few more expert opinions. Well, as a government, as a society, we are lacking a little bit behind. And we have also some traditions. So this, the tradition, the spirituality is something that we need to reinforce and maximize. And all these things are just a tool. Those are just a tool for us to establish this happiness, to have it. So I believe that a smart city is for happy residents. And I'm very happy to share this information with you. And I hope that you are going to